I probably drove past.
This ran, I think he was the first black person on the district. Parents died. He got shook up. His aunts would watch us while my parents were at work. So I know that his
capacity on any level, if it's dealing with a family, if that's okay.
But I am going to start.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that you all have been waiting for. This is the mobile blacktop table talk. And I want y'all to know that I am in the house of the mayoral candidate, Dele Lowan. Yes, after my first podcast, she called me up, emailed me, tried to get in contact with me, and asked me if she could be the second person on the podcast. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? She is here. I am here, and we're going to make it happen. She's going to talk about what she can do for the city of Stonecrest, how she's going to be able to help the people, how she's going to do everything that she can, y'all, to make sure everything is in place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hey, D-Lo. I call her D-Lo, y'all. It's Dele, but I call her D-Lo. And I met her through, city council, and I watched her on TV, on YouTube, when they had the little meetings and stuff. And I was like, who was that lady? And I was like, man, she seemed like she pretty cool. And then she came to one of the meetings that we had. And then she came over because she seen a little bag that said Pittsburgh. And she said, you from Pittsburgh? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm from Garfield. I was like, what? We like family. So it just amazed me. It's just a coincidence that, she's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And y'all, she running for mayor. Y'all, she want to give her side. Yep. So we're going to let her talk about it. I'm going to step back and just let her talk. I may have some questions for you along the way. But go ahead, D-Lo, and handle your business.
Thank you, Sharon. Welcome to my home. Yes. I am excited to be your second guest on your fast-growing podcast.
Oh, my God, yes.
That I've been seeing and hearing about everywhere. So, as you said, I'm running for mayor of Stonecrest, Georgia. The election is this November.
Oh, I didn't know that. November
fast. 7th, 2023. Yeah. Right. Everybody is surprised when I tell them that because a lot of people have started running for 2024. But the municipal elections are in 2023. They're in the odd numbered years. Okay. And so now is the time. People are gearing up. Candidate qualifying starts next week, August 21st through the 25th at City Hall is when all of the people who are interested in running for mayor and city council districts 2 and 4 have to go in and qualify.
Okay.
So we're busy.
I see. Wow. Busy. So let me ask you something. So the current mayor, she hasn't been there long. So correct. Why are they running again for this upcoming November 7th?
Great question. So last year there was a special election in May because the previous mayor stepped down, resigned his seat, as many people know, in anticipation of a federal indictment. And is now serving time in a federal prison. Wow. And so we had to have a special election in May to elect somebody to finish out his unexpired term, which ends at the end of 2023.
Oh, okay,
and so
I got
the current mayor, who was at the time, had just been reelected to District 3, resigned that seat and ran to be the current mayor
and got elected.
And so it was a very short term because it was just the last couple years.
And I'm sure the people want to know that well. Right. Okay, so let's move right along. Tell everybody how and what can you offer to the city of Stonecrest if you become mayor.
So I want to just start by talking about why I'm running.
Okay, yes, let's start there.
Because this is not something that I planned to do. Okay. And it is not something, quite honestly, that I aspired to do. I was asked to run. I have been very active in the Stonecrest community for years. My family has lived here for nearly 10 years. And prior to it becoming the city of Stonecrest. We've lived here for this entire time. And I have volunteered in numerous capacities and built some relationships with people who are in the community that I've been serving alongside. It was those individuals who approached me and asked me repeatedly if I would run for mayor. And the reason that I accept it is because I love this community, and I believe that we deserve better than what we have been getting. And that we have much greater potential than I have heard any of our leaders articulate or see that they have the capacity to help us to achieve. So that's why I'm running. What's interesting is, I had a conversation very recently with an elected official friend, and she told me, Dele, people run for office for different reasons. Some people run for office to do something, and some people run for office to be something, right? Okay. I am running for office to do something because of what I can offer and how I can serve. And what I think is key is that I didn't just start doing it when I decided to run for office. I have been serving. I was on the PTA for Browns Mill Elementary School, okay, on the Principal Advisory Committee for Browns Mill Elementary School. Okay. I was the founding president for the Stonecrest Citizens Coalition. Wow. Okay. For its first 2 years in existence, a founding member, and then I was installed as president for
so you mean you founded the Stonecrest Coalition? That's the one that Malika Wells is on?
Correct.
Oh, so y'all like buddies. Okay.
She took over after my term ended.
Oh, wow.
And that was in the middle of the pandemic, and so everybody was sort of in flux, and the organization was really a little bit dormant because not much was happening during the pandemic, right? We have a lot of members who are older, who've been around the community for a while, who were just not active because it wasn't safe to be. And so she stepped up and revitalized the organization and took it to
really quick. Explain, just like in 60 seconds, explain the coalition. What is it?
So the Stonecrest Citizens Coalition was started in 2018, and it was a group of citizens who wanted to make sure that there was transparency and ethics and engagement from the city of Stonecrest and all of our elected officials that serve Stonecrest citizens. We wanted to make sure that we were educating citizens. Civic education is something that is, unfortunately, we don't do a great job of in this country. A lot of people don't understand how their city government is supposed to work, what they should expect from their elected officials.
Or know who to vote for, because I know when I go to the polls, I'm like, who's Maureen, or who's this person, or who's that person? So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the podcast, because I think people should know who you are and what you want to offer, and what you're gonna do and how you're gonna help people. I think that's very important, because I know, aren't you guys tired of going to the polls and saying, who do I vote for, or what is this person, or what are they gonna offer? Or I know you guys are, so I think this is very important. I've never really even saw people do this one-on-one, sit down and talk to people and find out what they're about and what they're trying to do, and etc. So I think it's very important, and I challenge all mayoral candidates, whoever want to get on the podcast. I don't discriminate. Come on, bring it. Challenge yourself. Let's see what you got to offer, because D-Lo, she gonna bring it.
We're gonna bring it. And I want to make sure. Dele. You can call me D-Lo. That's great.
That's my little nickname for her, y'all.
So what's funny is my mother is Dr. Jackson Loman, and so her students have called her Dr. J-Lo for years, right? And one of my brothers is Haston, and so he's gone by H-Lo for years. So what's funny is when you started calling me D-Lo, I just laughed, because I'm like, that's just a thing in our family. I've never used it, but it just kind of fit. But I want to make sure that I acknowledge that there was a whole group of citizens that helped found the Stonecrest Citizens Coalition. I did not do that by myself. We worked very hard together to come up with a collective vision for what we could do for Stonecrest.
So let me ask you another question. I found, and I watched you on the little YouTube when they had their little meetings and stuff like that, and I love your articulation, your intelligence. How did you get so smart? It's like you know your stuff. It's like, Dave Marcus, he's on the, you're like, he knows everything. Like it's like, how do you know? Like, how do you guys know? Like, explain that.
So my background is actually local government.
Tell us your background.
Local government executive.
Okay.
So I actually started my career. I went to FAMU, got my
FAMU,
undergraduate degree, left Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Dr. Humphreys, who was the president of FAMU at the time, went to Pitt.
Okay.
That's where he got his doctorate. That's where he met his wife. She's from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And he came to my high school and offered me a full scholarship.
Oh,
and so
nice.
I went to FAMU.
Wow.
Spent my 4 years on the Hill.
Okay. The Hill, y'all. Hill.
Yes.
Y'all know about the Hill District. Okay. Where court.
So, after I left FAMU, I went into the governor's office, a public-private partnership in the governor's office in Florida.
Okay.
And then from there, I ended up getting a fellowship to get my master's degree.
Oh, wow.
And so they paid for me to get a master's in public administration.
So you ain't got no student loans.
I don't. Well, that's a different conversation.
Okay, don't say that for later.
But I didn't have to get student loans to get my bachelor's or master's, my first master's degree. I did go back for a second master's.
Okay.
And so I went to New York and did that. But the way that program works, it's focused on getting women and people of color. It's the National Urban Fellows Program.
Okay.
They get women and people of color into leadership positions in the public sector.
Okay.
And so we go work while we're getting your master's degree. We go work in different parts of the country, being mentored by senior leaders in different places. So I got sent back to Florida, and I was being mentored by the chief executive and the deputy chief executive from Broward County, Florida.
Okay.
Which is the second most populous county in the state behind Miami-Dade.
Wow.
At the time, it was about 1.7 million residents.
Okay.
And so I spent 5 years in the executive office there under their tutelage and mentorship, and got to just really see the ins and outs of what local government is about, how budgets work. Got to get my first experience managing people. Starting a program, doing a strategic plan for a large local government, facilitating managers meetings. So there was a lot of work that I got exposed to.
I see.
That
because you know your stuff, man. Oh, wow.
Right, and that's,
That's amazing how you just, that's what really took to me with you is like, wow. This lady really know what she talking about. She you didn't tell me you were running, and then when you announced it, I'm like, you didn't tell me, but it's okay because you're allowed to do that. But I'm like, dang, I think they got the right candidate. I think they got the right person. I think this is gonna work, and that's why I'm giving other candidates to come on the podcast and say what you're gonna say and do what you're gonna do for the city of Stonecrest. So we're gonna wrap it up in about 5 more minutes. I want you to go ahead and just do what you do and say what you say, and so you can get the people's vote and let the people know who you are and what you have to offer.
So I've laid out my vision, and anybody who's interested in seeing and reading more about it can look at deleforstonecrest.com. That's DELEFOR Stonecrest.com, and look on the issues page, and I have some detail on there of what I intend to do for the city of Stonecrest. It's about laying a firm foundation so we can have good government in this city. That is the foundation of everything. It doesn't matter how many events we have, how many cool one-off little venues we come up with. If we do not have well-run government, it will not be sustainable. And in order to do that, you have to have somebody in leadership who understands what that looks like and has the ability to deliver it. I think one of the ways that I demonstrated that, I was the chair most recently of the DeKalb County Board of Registration and Elections.
Wow.
My term just ended at the end of June.
Okay.
And so I had the experience of working with a body of individuals who were a policy-making body, right? And so I got to lead a policy-making body that is akin to a city council. So I do have that experience. And we had the responsibility of ensuring that one of the largest counties in DeKalb, in Georgia, was well run so that people have the ability to vote and access to be able to participate in their democracy. So that, from my perspective, is part of my track record in terms of being able to lead, and the amount of impact that I was able to make in just 2 years as chair of the Board of Elections is what you can expect from me as mayor of Stonecrest. The next leg of my platform is enhancing our quality of life, because once we lay that foundation, then we can build on it. Right? Everybody likes to talk about, oh, we want to bring Whole Foods, and oh, we want a cheesecake factory, and oh, we want this other kind of stuff.
Stop right there. Stop right there. I know we're going to wrap it up, but stop right there. Talk about, because the people need to understand that. If they're asking these questions, then explain it. I think we have the right. Why can't we have a cheesecake factory? Why are some of the businesses going away? Why is there so many storage places and gas stations and beauty supply stores? Why can't we have nice things in the city of Stonecrest?
So I'll try to sum that up as succinctly as I can. From a historical standpoint, Stonecrest and South DeKalb in general does not have a strong commercial base. Okay. That was intentional. All of the commerce was concentrated to the northern part of the county, and the south part of the county was intended to just be residential, so on and so forth. But as everything started to municipalize, the north became cities, and then eventually we became a city. We needed to have our own commercial base, and we do not have that. And if we do not get our own strong commercial base, all of the tax burden is going to end up falling on us as individual citizens. Okay. Unfortunately, what we have observed with our leadership is a lack of a strong vision or the ability to execute a vision so that we can create a strong commercial tax base here. Okay. And so any old gas station, any old storage facility, any old recycling plant that should never have been permitted, all of this dirty industry and all kind of other mess is what they rely on in order to increase the taxes. But guess what? When you actually have visionary, capable leadership, we can create an economy that benefits our environment, as well as creating a tax base and bringing in commercial tax revenue. My vision for that is that we take advantage of the millions, billions of dollars that are raining down from the feds right now, and that we build a clean energy industry in Stonecrest. That we have the industrial area for.
That.
So we can create that here. People can have good paying jobs here as opposed to getting in their cars and commuting for 30, 45 minutes or an hour just to be able to pay their mortgage or pay for groceries every day. Young people who are looking for a career, who maybe don't want to go to college, right? They can have something that can prepare them and allow them to have a good paying career. Why do you need to break into somebody's car if you're making $60,000 a year and you didn't even have to go to college for it? You don't.
Right.
You don't need that.
So talking about that and the young people real quick, and we're going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes. What are you going to offer for the youth? Is there anything that you want to do for the youth? Offers? It's so needed in the city of Stonecrest. I know that they do like events and shows and stuff like that, but we got to come up with something. And we got to do it quick.
You know, I have really been disappointed with the lack of robust opportunities for young people. And sort of the rhetoric around young people and talking about them as if they're just getting in the way, making noise, committing crime, as opposed to seeing them as a resource and our future. And so a major part of my campaign includes very robust youth development. There are a wide range of things, so I'll keep it to a few of them.
Okay.
One of the things that I'm really excited about is coming up with youth academies.
Okay.
And that is ways for young people to develop skills that are in areas that they are interested in. So whether that is in masonry or agriculture, right? Both areas that historically Black Americans have really been experts at. And we have lost that expertise over time. I think a lot of it was shame related to it just because
Where
of our
would the
background.
funding come from? I mean,
there are so many different forms of funding. I'm so glad you asked that. One of the other things, which is a huge oversight in my mind,
okay,
anytime you have a city or local government of any size, one of the first things that you should do is have a grants function. So you have somebody who is dedicated full time to supplementing your revenue. So you are not relying solely on property taxes. There is no reason that we have not had that up to this point. DeKalb County has it, Fulton County has it. Oh yes. Oh yes. The Fulton County Fulton County grants person actually lives in Stonecrest. I know her from when I worked for Fulton County as the assistant county manager. That is a common function. And so there are millions, probably billions of dollars in free money that we can tap into for youth development, for neighborhood improvement, for economic development that we have not taken advantage of. And so that is one of the places that I would look to get that money. I want to really take advantage of the public-private partnership model, so that everything is not just the city doing the work, but that we partner with people in the community who are experts in delivering these types of services. They are experts in working with young people, or they're experts in economic development, so that we don't have to be. We provide some oversight and regulatory partnership as the government, but we partner with individuals who are able to offer that. One of the things I'm excited about that relates to the Blacktop Table Talk that I want to do is a youth media academy. Many communities have lost their local media. In order for democracy to thrive, we have to have strong, independent media. Because if there is not somebody who is paying attention, there will be all kinds of shenanigans going on. And we have already witnessed and experienced that in Stonecrest. We lost Crossroads News. On Common Ground News is a shadow of what it used to be. And so there are so many opportunities for coverage of just good things going on, but also accountability for what we do. And so the ability to teach and school young people in how to participate as real journalists, be journalistic professionals covering their community, is a way to not just provide that accountability and oversight, but also to engage them as full members of their community. So they're not just people over here, but it's like, you matter. You are important, young person, whoever it is you are. You are important to this community, and you make sure that we are creating the type of community that you're going to want to live in when you grow up, because we ain't going to be here forever. We are building a community for the future. We should not be building something that's just based on what we want. We should be building something that is going to serve our children and grandchildren into the future. So that's just, there are a number of them. I'm not going to be able to get into all of it now.
That was good, Dele. That was good. So y'all, we're going to wrap it up. I think you said a mouthful. I think you said a lot, and I think that people are going to hear you from this broadcast, and I think it's good that we did this. And I think everyone, whether we live in Stonecrest, whether they live in Conyers, I think everyone needs to get on the podcast and let the people know what you represent, what you're trying to do, how can you help the people, who are you, what is your name. So saying all that, I'm going to give you about 60 seconds to just wrap it up, and we're going to end it from there. Tell the people real quick, just wrap it up all in a nutshell.
So I think that Stonecrest has had a rocky time since our beginning. Now we have a very limited window to regain our reputation, to regain our credibility, and really elevate our trajectory to become the kind of a community that we should be as the largest and newest city, and quite frankly, the blackest city, with a 95 or 6% African American residential rate in DeKalb County. there are certain things that we should be accomplishing. I believe that my background, my character, and my track record demonstrate that I am the person who can help us do it. I would love for you to support my campaign. Like I said, you can learn more about me at deleforstonecrest.com. That's DELEFOR, Stonecrest.com. On August 28th, I will be kicking off my campaign at Belinda's Southern Cuisine, 6:30 p.m.
You got some good food, y'all.
Yes, so we'll have good food, we'll have good conversation. You'll be able to get a yard sign, sign up to
I was going to
volunteer.
ask, how do they get yard signs?
Yes, you can come there, or you can go to my website and sign up, give us your email, and we will let you know as soon as those are available. But I hope that I can earn your vote. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so that's it. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you for tuning into the Black Top Tabletop. And we're going to be doing some editing and etc. So this is going to be released probably within a few hours. But woo-wee, y'all just hold on and get ready, because Dele Lowan, she coming, y'all. She coming for y'all. So just pay attention to how you can get a sign and etc. And she said a whole mouthful. She enlightened me on a whole lot of things. And we just going to see November 7th how this thing going to go. So all your donations, I don't get paid for doing this. So if you want to donate to blacktoptabletop@gmail.com. This is to help people who are in need. After my first podcast, I was able to bless a young lady, because I got a donation for $200. I was able to bless a young lady who needed her electric bill paid, and a young lady who needed her phone bill paid. So y'all, this is not for me. I have excellent references and resources, and this thing is moving fast, and God is taking me to the top. So y'all, come on, y'all. Let's support Delo. Support the Black Top Tabletop. People are interviewing and calling me and wanting to get on the podcast. So y'all, let's make it happen, y'all. Tune in for the next one, and it will be released within the next day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Delo.